All right, let's take the scenic route to the shop this morning. You know, it's a good thing to have your firewood all in for the winter, and at least your shop will be warm while you work. That great industrialist, R.G. Letourneau, said, "You can waste my money, but don't waste my time. I can make more money, but I can't make more time." I remember in his book, Mover of Men and Mountains, he said of one of his first employers, he gave some excellent advice, and I've never forgot. He said, "Bob, learn to work smart, just not necessarily hard." Well, we all know that sometimes we have to work hard, but if we work smart while we work hard, now work becomes a pleasure instead of just a task, and also our output increases. That old Dutch or German proverb, I forget which one, says we get old too soon and smart too late, and how true it is. And while I do lament the fact that I wasted a lot of my youth, that if we can pass on some of this information to the next generation, some aspiring machinist or craftsman can just pick up just a few helpful hints, well worth our time. They can learn from the mistakes that we've made. All right, let's get in and get into something. I'm going to have to do something about that sign. Let me attempt to demonstrate one of my all-time favorite machine shop tricks. And I heard a story one time that kind of goes along with this. Said an old farmer coming off the side of a Kentucky mountain with a load of black diamond in the back of his coal truck. State trooper pulled him over. He said, "Old timer, let me see your license." The old fellow said, "Well, I don't have one." He said, "What, you don't have a license? How long you been driving? About 60 years. Why don't you have a license?" Well, the old fellow said, "I've never needed one until now." Well, that's the way it is with what I want to show you here. You don't need to know this until you need to know it, and it don't happen often. But when the problem arises, it's good to know. Normally, this occurs when you got a thinner something you're drilling into. This could be your mill, your lathe, milling machine, drill press. But you've got a thinner piece of material that can resonate, and then you've also got a larger bit. And what happens, these things can start vibrating, and it sounds like it's coming unglued. Bad. Now, I'm just staging this, and it'll be my luck when I attempt to show you what I mean. It's not going to vibrate real bad, but hopefully there'll be a big enough difference between this and your remedy that you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let's go for it. Put this thing in gear, fire it up. You can see there, I didn't want to go too much, but making a pretty good racket. And now we're going to show you the answer to the solution. What do? You get your rag. Now, I never have a rag around a chuck when it's moving. A big lathe like this, I mean, it can suck you into it and pull your arm off. But get your rag. Shoot you some oil on there. Give it a little bit of lubrication. Fold that thing up. Stick it behind you a bit. Like I say, be careful. Make sure you get that thing turned off. Bring up, take the slap up, it don't fall out. Now let's do it again. There it goes, cutting. Don't even hear it. We're through. You can see there, we got a nice round hole, accurate, and done quietly. But sometimes, like I say, this was staged. Sometimes this is going to happen naturally when you don't want it to. I was wanting it to. But, they can sound like they're coming unglued. And you'll ruin your part, ruin your bit, ruin your nerves. But what's the solution? Throw some oil on that rag, stick her in there, drill through it. Why, it comes through there quiet as a church mouse. Thanks for watching. As we quickly wrap up this session, let me share with you a little story that old Tennessee Ernie Ford used to tell. He said a number of years ago, a minister was riding a slow train through the hills of Tennessee. At one of the many stops along the way, he spoke to an elderly gentleman standing on the station platform. He said, "Sir, does anybody around here enjoy religion?" The old fellow thought for just a second. Then he replied, "Yes, sir, them that's got it do." Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty good preaching. I don't think that a bishop could say it any better. Selah, you think about that. Meditate on that.